Coach, Coach Norvell was talking about the onside kick coming out at halftime, and it was something that you guys had talked about. Not trying to make an excuse for Azaria, but it kind of looked like maybe somebody crossed his face right. Did he get distracted by that? What kind of explanation did he have?
His explanation was just that he didn't think it was going to go 10 yards. He was going to go get it. He just hesitated for a second, and that's the biggest thing is obviously you don't ever want anything like that to happen. And there's things that you guys are at practice. You see, we work on these things, and you never want them to take place. But a young guy in a tough situation, we need to learn from it as a group and get better. Just the standpoint of the real time, real game scenario of the understanding of, hey, as the return unit, go attack the ball when you have the opportunity to do it. Obviously when you're on the coverage unit, you got to make sure it goes 10. It's all those things, those split-second decisions. Of course they've been covered and they've been talked about, but in the moment, in real time, it was a good kick and good execution on their part, but we got to do a better job. We got to be better. Obviously not the way we want to start the second half, and I think as a group we'll all learn from it, and that's part of the growth process.
Brendan, it's been a few consecutive games now where you guys have had nice punt returns. I guess what sort of impact has Micah made in that regard? Probably nice to not have us asking questions about.
No, Micah's obviously been really good for us. He's a confident guy. Even you could see on the first one, which he got hit on right away. Like he wants the ball in his hands. He wants the opportunity to field all kicks and return all kicks. It's something that's important to us as a program, because all that hidden yardage that goes into fielding all the kicks. But Micah's done a fantastic job. But also, you go back and you look at some of those returns. The guys who are blocking for him have done a really nice job. And as a returner, it's like anything that you do in this sport. It is the ultimate team game, and to be able to have success in the return game, that means the other 10 guys have bought into the idea of what their role and responsibility is. And I thought that punt pressure unit did a really nice job the other day. When we had opportunities to field balls, we were able to execute. Obviously, we had a couple penalties that we got to get cleaned up. But even with the look that was provided, we were able to force some poor kicks. And all in all, our job is to win that hidden yardage, win the net punting battle. And, I think our punt pressure team did a good job with that the other day.
With Leonard Warner, how impressed are you with him just sticking with it and the impact he's now making for you guys?
With Leonard, I've been impressed with his play, because he continues to get better. I'm not surprised by it. A couple years ago, in that spring of, I guess, 2021, I did feel like he could be impactful for us at a defensive end spot. Obviously, that was a short-lived spring for him with the injury. But the thing about Leonard that I think is worth noting is last year, even though he was recovering from injury, the way he handled himself was tremendously respectable from the standpoint of he sat in the meetings, he never missed one. He coached the young players, he helped teach the defensive scheme. He was very impactful as a guy that really had no scenario where he was going to go in there. He signaled on the sideline in games. So just his unselfish nature and the way he approached it, I thought was commendable. So to know what how he was gonna work through the off season and to this fall is not surprising. But I'm glad that all the hard work is starting to pay off for him, and he's having an opportunity to succeed because he's earned it.
Yeah. Do you feel like Ryan's kind of back to himself now, and how rare is it for a guy to kind of tweak his approach mid-season and go through what he went through and then kind of seemingly, fix himself?
Well, we take it with Ryan, and this has always been our approach. We take it, week by week and kick by kick with him. Like even when he was struggling, and I know this has been well documented, he wasn't struggling at practice. So, it's not like, it's like an epiphany of where he's making his kicks. but I do think he's gaining game time confidence. And we've had some good situations that he's been able to be in. He's had a lot of PATs, credit to our offense, and then he's had 2 end of half scenarios where he's had a chance to kick a field goal, and then a shorter one the other day. So I think all of that, when you kind of combine it all, like he is starting to become more confident in everything he's doing, and he should be, because he's a talented player that we believe in, that it continues to work hard and grow. And I don't think the tweak of his technique is as big of a deal, because it's what he had always done anyway. He just kind of went back to home base, hit a little bit of a reset button, and he's back to hitting the ball solid. And I expect him to have a good finish to the season.
Overall, how do you think the defensive line played against Georgia Tech, especially in that first half where it seemed like you guys are winning the battles in the trenches?
Yeah, I in the first half and then into the third quarter, I thought we did a nice job up front. We were able to create some pressure, create some disruptive plays in terms of in the pass game, and then really able any interior run to do a good job there in terms of stopping the run. As the game rocked along and we had some younger guys come in, we were able to get those older guys out, which was critical to us. But I thought in those first 3 quarters, the defensive front played well.
Adam talked about, I think, on the last touchdown, Dante Anderson, I think, lost contain and kind of let that happen. Those are obviously tough moments. He seemed frustrated by it. But how valuable, that's the kind of thing just you can't teach by being in practice. How valuable is getting those guys in those settings and letting them get into games? Yeah, no,
the real-time experience is valuable. And it's something that you like to be in the position where you can get some of those young guys opportunities. Obviously, that means we've done a pretty good job of putting the game in a position where we feel like it's time to give those guys opportunities. But you obviously want to end better than that. You don't like walking off the field with that kind of taste in your mouth after what really defensively was a really good performance. It is valuable for those young players to learn and realize what they need to work on and what they need to grow from. Really it's interesting because when you break up with scout teams like you do in college football, because of the size of your team, it's really probably the only sport I can think of where you're playing guys at the end of game that aren't even really practicing with the defense throughout the course of the week. So, those guys went in there and they did the very best that they obviously could with a very vanilla package, because they weren't really in the meetings or involved in any of the game plan part of it. But I think it's great to continue to get those guys opportunities for sure.
Coach, we hear people talk about players getting healthier as the season goes on, which is just crazy to me. And the bye week is like this magical 7 days where guys are just going to miraculously come back and be 100%. What have you seen, though, from Jared here the last few weeks? Is he kind of regaining form, do you think? And what does he bring to the defense when he is able to?
Yeah, Jared is getting healthier, and I think part of that is just when as a team some of those injuries occur. We kind of had a rash of things happen early in the season. Knock on wood, things have kind of settled down from that standpoint a little bit here in the last couple of weeks. But Jared continues to look better in practice. He's moving better, and I thought it was interesting. Coach Fuller made a tape of 6 or 7 plays that he thought were good. Good examples of what we would want to define Seminole defense as. There was no coincidence in those 6 or 7 plays they showed to the unit. Jared was in on all those plays because he does play with violence. He does play with physicality. He does have it just feels different. So you feel his presence when he's on the field. So, obviously getting him healthy for this back stretch of the season is going to be important for us and important for him, because I know he wants to make sure that he continues to grow and progress as a player.
How much involvement do you have in the trick-or-treating and the Halloween candy at the Papuchis household?
It depends on the timing of how Halloween falls, right? So I've been, for whatever reason, for like 13 or 14 years in a row, I was really lucky in terms of Halloween timings on Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturdays, bye weeks. Somehow, some way, it seemed like it worked itself out. Tonight's going to be a little bit trickier. We do have a big opponent on this coming week, so I don't think I'm going to be skipping out early, but the kids all have their costumes picked out. They're ready to roll, and I know they're excited about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.